help them out. Like I said, it's a sticky situation. It's a sticky topic. I know you have people that say, well, they need to legally enter this country the proper way and, do things the proper way, and then they can take advantage of it. But at the same time, they're human. You know what I mean? He was born here. His parents bought him here, and he was bought here as a child, man. I mean, he was born here pretty much, but he doesn't have any papers. I apologize. He wasn't born here. His parents bought him to the U.S. from Mexico when he was a year old. So he's been here since a year old, and he's put in just as much work as anybody else. He's worked all of his life when he reached the age to work, but he's just not documented. So there's people out there like that are in a situation. I think, that something should be implemented to help them out as well, especially if you were brought over here at 1 year old. You were a 1 year old when you're a year old when you was brought over here. You don't have no control over that. You know what I mean? And you worked all of your adult life. Like, I think it's crazy. And from what I'm seeing here from this article, 10% of the industry workforce, or more than 1 million U.S. restaurant workers, are undocumented. Many work in low pay back of house jobs without worker protection. So you got these people that own these companies that take advantage of that. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna crucify the workers, I mean, you definitely should crucify the owners of these businesses that take advantage of these people and giving them low pay. Just because they're undocumented, they're giving them low, undercutting pay. That's pretty much pennies. And then something like this happens, they have to close down. They walk away scot-free without having to pay these people anything or give these people anything, and then they're just left in the wind. So I'll be posting that article as well. It's from the LA Times. This was published May 15, 2020 at 6 a.m. The title of it, The Undocumented Restaurant Workers Who Fed Us Are Being Forgotten. This is their struggle. So check that out, y'all. And let me know how you feel about that. Me, myself, personally, I really think they should have something implemented and in place to help these people out. So it looks like, moving on, we got another $3 trillion stimulus package on the line. With another $3 trillion stimulus package on the line, here's everything the government has done to rescue the economy so far. This article is coming from Forbes, May 16, 2020, by Sarah Hansen. It hasn't actually been passed yet. The House of Representatives passed it, but I think the bill has to reach the Senate, and then the Senate has to approve everything, and we go from there. Looking over everything the government has done so far, emergency money for testing and paid leave, tax and student loan extensions, the $2.2 trillion CARES Act, the $484 billion interim CARES Act, the Federal Reserve emergency initiatives. After all that, what's next? They have the $3 trillion HEROES Act is what it's being called. The sweeping coronavirus rescue bill introduced by the House of Democrats this week passed the House on Friday evening. The cornerstone of the bill is $875 billion in additional funding for state and local governments, and $20 billion each for tribal governments. Wow, wait a minute. So $875 billion for state and local governments, and you're only giving $20 billion to tribal governments and U.S. territories. Like, That's a little off, but let's go on. The legislation also includes another $75 billion for testing, new provisions for hazard pay and essential workers, $75 billion in mortgage relief, $100 billion in rental assistance, plus another $25 billion for the Postal Service and provisions for a second round of $1,200 stimulus checks. There's also $3.6 billion for elections, $10 billion for supplemental nutrition assistance programs, and $10 billion for small businesses. If it passes the Senate in its current form, which is unlikely to do, the bill astronomical price tag would make it the largest piece of stimulus legislation in American history. I stand on what I said when the first wave of checks were coming out. We need it, but it just don't feel right to me. I honestly think that we're going to pay for this in the future, some way, somehow, by us being in debt. You know, me rolling around the country, seeing the infrastructure of this company. I mean, this country, which is a company, by the way. It's a corporation. But I don't feel good about it. But then I look at the faces of people that are jobless and out of work, that are struggling right now. And it's like, damn, they got to have the money. $1,200 doesn't go a long way, especially if you're already behind on bills. It doesn't go a long way at all. But I just don't feel good about it. I just think that it's definitely something we're going to have to pay for in the long run. And you think about who's footing the bill on this. You know, the Treasury Department announced last week that it intends to borrow $3 trillion during the current quarter to cover the massive cost of the federal government response to the coronavirus crisis. That number only accounts for the legislation that has been passed to date, however, and it will grow dramatically if the HEROES Act or any other piece of major stimulus legislation becomes law. So the key word is the key sentence rather. The Treasury Department announced last week that it intends to borrow. Keep that in mind, y'all. Intends to borrow $3 trillion during the current quarter to cover the massive cost of the federal government's response to the coronavirus crisis. Who are they borrowing this money from? My guess is coming from that good old Federal Reserve Bank. That's where that money is coming from. And we all know how they operate. So you think they just gonna you know what I mean? Like, no, we're gonna have to pay that back some way, somehow. So you gotta look at the wording of these articles and what they're putting in these articles and what they're saying on TV. You know what I mean? Like definitely keep an eye open because, man. But yeah, y'all, I'm not going to make this a long show. It's almost at a half an hour. I'm going to start keeping things under a half an hour. So I'm going to post these articles on the Facebook page, The TAGT Show. That's The TAGT Show on Facebook. Hit your like buttons. And we finally got accepted through iHeartRadio, so y'all can look at y'all can listen to the podcast on iHeartRadio. If you go to iHeartRadio, check us out, The TAGT Show. That's right, y'all. So I want to give a few shout outs that I received emails and kudos from people all over the country here. Juan Espinoza from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Shout out to you, man. I hope you and your family are safe. I hope things are working out for you, man. Hang in there. Carl Blackwood from San Francisco, California. I thank you for the shout out, man, and I'm giving you a shout out back, my brother. Stay strong. Keep your family safe. I hope everybody's doing good on your end as well. Henry Jones out of Houston, Texas. I want to thank you for listening, sir. My prayers and hopes and everything go out to you and your family. I hope everything is straight. Valerie Hicks from Martinsburg, West Virginia. Thank you for the shout out, and I'm shouting you back out, sweetheart. Thank you for listening. I hope everything is safe with your family as well. Blessings to you. William Tito out of Lima, Ohio. Thank you for the email and the words of encouragement, sir. I'm praying for you and your family as well, and I hope things are going well for you also. So yeah, man, this is the TAGT show. I am going to commit to posting every week. It may be Saturday, it may be Sunday, but I'm going to post. I'm going to post for you guys. I'm sticking to that. Hit us on the hotline, y'all, 810-553-6592. Hit us on the email at Mr. Slate 810@gmail.com. Twitter, Mr. _Slate 810. And also hit us on Facebook, the TAGT Show. I'm your host, Mr. Slate. I want to thank y'all for tuning in for WFLNT Radio, channel 810.5, man. And we are out of here. Be blessed.